विलम्बितसूत्र वामनरूप महेश्वरपुत्र सिद्धिविनायक पार नमस्ते। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। मूषिकवाहन मोरकहस्त चामरकर्ण विलम्बितसूत्र। There are many shlokas, many prayers to Bhagavan Shri Ganesha. Some are easy for us as devotees to pronounce. Some are a little bit more ambiguous or difficult. But Mushikavahana Morakahasta, one of the most striking qualities of Shri Ganesha, which can oftentimes seem most peculiar, is the Vahana, the vehicle of Shri Ganesha, in the form of the mouse. And simply put, there are many interpretations, many different viewpoints that we can have to understand what this mouse represents. The Mushak, the vehicle of Bhagavan Shri Ganesha, is so important for him to travel, to peruse around the world. But when this Mushak, when this vehicle of his, when it lacks control, when it lacks that security that Bhagavan Shri Ganesha gives it, then it runs around helter-skelter. And in this manner, the Mushak, the vehicle of Bhagavan Shri Ganesha, very simply but simultaneously profoundly, it seeks to remind us, Bade Bhagyaman Rushatan Bhava. We are blessed with so many things within the world. But when Shri Ganesha blesses us, and when his blessings enter into our lives, especially when we as devotees gather in satsang as we are doing tonight, to listen to his glories and to remind ourselves of his greatness, then we become more and more cognizant, more and more realized as to how we can use everything that we've been blessed with in service to and in dedication to Bhagavan Shri Ganesh. So tonight as we listen to Katha, may Bhagavan Shri Ganesha, may his blessings not only materialize within our lives through the removal of all negative obstacles, but may he clear the hurdles of our path to allow us to listen to Katha with this open-mindedness that will allow us to take something to apply to our lives. Bolo Ganapati Bhagavan ki Jai.
Please give him a round of applause. Thank you, Pindaji, for those beautiful words. At this time, I invite Pindaji Dilanji to please come forward and make his brief contribution. Please give him a round of applause.
Divine souls, Jai Shri Ganesh. Please join with me in a prayer to Bhagavan Shri Ganesh as we ready ourselves for another blissful evening of satsang. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Ekadantam Chaturhastam Pashamam Kushadharanam Radam Chavaradam Hastir Bibhranam Mushakadvajam Nakam Raktavasasam Raktaganhanudiptangam Raktapushpe Supujitam. Everyone, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Bolo Shri Ganesh Bhagavan ki. This evening, I would like to share just a few reflections I have had on this Utsav, this celebration so far. And through the medium of Ganesh Chaturthi, it has brought so many people together from so many mandirs, from so many walks of life, from all different parts of Sanatan Dharma. And I think this Chaturthi is not only about worshiping God in this external form of Sri Ganesh, but it is about recognizing the God or the divinity in everyone and everything. And this particular celebration, it is so inclusive, it is filled with diversity, and it is very welcoming for every devotee in Sanatan Dharma. And I'm very happy and I'm filled with great excitement for tonight's pravachan from our Vyaas ji, Padit Niraj, who is a brother in Dharma, and especially when it is my generation taking that leadership role, it fills us with so much pride, and I'm sure all of you are so proud of this moment tonight. So without any further ado, I hand the microphone back to our esteemed MC Didivani. Ganapati Bappa!
Thank you, Chaturthi, for those beautiful words. Devotees, at this time, we have a beautiful presentation this evening. It will be a divine Arupranam in the form of a dance performed by our dear little sisters, Manju Chand and Rani Prasad. As they make their way up and getting prepared, they're both active members of our community. Rani Ji is a youth member at Bhubaneswar Mandir in Queens. She enjoys traveling and sharing her talents in music and dance. Rani has been training in Bharatanatyam and Kathak dance for 4 years under the guidance of Davina Singh. And Manju Chand, age 13, has spent 9 years pursuing her passion for classical dance, which she deeply loves, and has been learning under Davina Ji since she was 9. She's an active member of Swami Aksharananda's Bhagavad Gita class, plays basketball, enjoys reading, and loves music, and treasures time with her family. They will be performing Jai Jai Shri Niraj, which is a Kathak item in salutations to Sri Vigna Vinayaka, whose vehicle is the mouse, and who has the modakat in his hands, whose large ears are like fans, and who wears a long sacred thread, who is short in stature, and is the son of Sri Maheshwara, Lord Shiva. Prostrations at the feet of Sri Vigna Vinayaka, the remover of obstacles of his devotees. Performed by Manju Chand and Rani Prasad in the Kathak repertoire, choreographed and taught by Davina Singh. Please give them a huge round of applause.
गणपति गणेश लंबोदर सूर्य भुजाचार एकदंत चंद्रमान राजराजे ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश तारदय धुरपथ गावे अति विचित्र गणनाथ आज मृदंग बजावे मृदंग बजावे मृदंग बजावे
संपत्ति सब ही भरपूर पावे भाव भगत से कोई शरणागत आवे, संतति संपत्ति सब ही भरपूर पावे।
ऐसे तुम महाराज मोको अति भावे, गोसावी नंदन निश दिन गुण गावे।
Despite the divine names of Sri Ganesh in the form of stance. Thank you once again. Please give them another round of applause. Before we begin tonight's katha, I will ask Deepaji to please lead us in the final bhajan before we...
गणपति विनाशन गणपति विनाशन जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय लंबोदर पीतांबर सोहे हरि मणि मुकुटन यरतनारे लंबोदर पीतांबर सोहे हरि मणि मुकुटन यरतनारे लक्ष्मण माल गले ब्रज सोहे गणपति माल गले ब्रज सोहे माल माल लागे गणपति गणपति जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति लोग पुनीत देत जननी जग तुम चलत लोग पुनीत देत जननी जग लोग पुनीत देत जननी जग लोग पुनीत देत जननी जग मोर
Thank you for that beautiful picture. Devotees, at this time, I ask of you all to please situate your minds, bodies, and soul as we prepare to take the Amritam of Vyaji's Katha. It is my esteemed honor as I introduce our Vyasi for tonight, Pandit Niraj Ramsamooj. Pandit Niraj Ramsamooj was born in Queens, New York, and grew up in Arya Spiritual Center. He attended Arya Viradal Shikshan Sivir camps since the age of 6. However, his dharmic education started at 4 years old, where he was taught Hindi and moral education by Pandita Bharati Ramsamooj at the East Indian Music Academy. He was also taught vocal and harmonium by Dr. Panditji Ravidin Ramsamooj at East Indian Music Academy. In 2018, Panditji Niraj graduated with a bachelor's degree in biochemistry from the University of Massachusetts Fairmount. He then moved back home to New York, where he worked at Columbia University ALS Therapeutics Corps until 2023. Panditji then went back to school at CUNY York College to obtain another bachelor's degree and is now working in the clinical laboratory science field. Panditji's dharmic interests are Vedic governance as it pertains to laws, morals, ethics, and social contracts prescribed by the Vedas and supported by later texts like Manusmriti, Viduraniti, Chanakya Niti, and Arthashastra. He is also interested in itihas like Valmiki Ramayana and Ved Vyasa Mahabharata to evaluate those prescriptions and determining how effective they are. So without any hesitation, I present to you Panditji Niraj Ramsamooj. Please give him a huge round of applause.
Namaste, Sitaram. Jai Shri Ram. As we prepare our minds to receive the knowledge of the Vedas, I would like to invoke that knowledge by reciting the first mantra of each Veda. Afterwards, invoking the blessings of the Rishis, the Adityas, and those Devtas before us, for whom without we would not have this knowledge and this rich tradition. Atha Rigvedaha Om Agnimire Purohitai Yajyasya Deva Mritvijam Hota Aram Ratnadhatamam Atha Yajurvedaha Om Ishetur Jetva Vayavastha Devo Vassavita Prarpayatu Shreshtathamaya Karmana Apyayadvamagnya Indraya Bhagam Prajavati Ranamiva Ayakshmamavastena Ishata Magashagam Sodhruva Asmin Gopatau Syat Bahvirya Jamanasya Pashum Pahi Atha Samvedaha Om Agna Ayahi Vitaye Grinano Havyadataye Nihota Satse Varhishi Atha Tharva Vedaha Om Yetre Shakta Pariyanti Vishva Rupani Viprataha Vachaspatir Balatesham Tanvo Adya Dadhatu Me Atha Sanshepataha Swasti Vachanam Om Ye Devanam Yajya Namano Yajatra Amrita Aritajyaha Teno Rasanta मुरुगाय मत्ययूयं पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः ॐ येभ्यो माता मधुमत्पिन्वते पयः पीयूषं द्यौरदितिरत्रिवर्हाः उक्तशुष्मान् वृषभणान् स्वप्नः संस्थान् आदित्या अनुमदा स्वस्तये ॐ नृचक्षसो अनिमिषन्तो अर्हणा बृहद्देवासो अमृतत्वमानशुः ज्योतिरथा अहिमाया अनागसो दिवो भर्ष्माणं वसते स्वस्तये ॐ सम्राजो ये सुवृधो यज्ञमाययुरपरिवृता दधिरे दिविक्षयम् ता आविवासनमसा सुवृक्तिभिर्महो आदित्या अदितिं स्वस्तये ॐ स्वस्ति नः पत्या सुधन्वसु स्वस्त्या अप्सु वृजने स्वर्वति स्वस्ति नः पुत्रकृतेषु योनिषु स्वस्ति राये मरुतो दधातना इति संक्षेपतः स्वस्ति वाचनम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Once again, my Sitaram Namaste to all. Welcome to all who are here, Pandit Shekhar ji, all the respected Pandits, mothers, fathers, brothers and sisters, Kirtan Mandali, my humblest greetings today. Tonight, history is being made. I was informed earlier today that I'm the first Arya Samaj Pandit to be reading at this Ganesh Utsav celebration. And as Pandit Dilanji said, this really is a special Ganesh Utsav this year. So many different traditions, so many different Pandits from various backgrounds sharing their Vedic knowledge. It is truly a testament to the unity of Vedic Dharma. Now, in the spirit of this unity, as we know, in Arya Samaj, we pray to God in the form of Omkar Bhagwan. Tonight, here we are praying to God in the form of Ganesh or Ganapati. So, I thought I would try to find a bhajan or a geet that had both of them present. And this geet isn't in Hindi, isn't in Sanskrit. I had to go all the way to Marathi to find a song addressing both Omkar Bhagwan and Ganapati. But in the spirit of this unity tonight, this intellectual diversity, I will begin with this invocation bhajan. अधिपति सुखपति छंदपति गंधपति लीन निरंतर हो, लीन निरंतर हो, सूर निरागस हो, सूर निरागस हो, गणपति सूर निरागस हो। मोरया मोरया गणपति बाप्पा मोरया, मोरया मोरया गणपति बाप्पा मोरया। गजवदना तू सुख करता, गजवदना तू दुख हरता, गजवदना मोरया मोरया, मोरया मोरया गणपति बाप्पा मोरया, मोरया गणपति बाप्पा मोरया। गजवदना तू सुख करता, गजवदना तू दुख हरता, गजवदना मोरया मोरया, सूर निरागस हो, गणपति सूर निरागस हो। सूर सुमनाने बडली ओंजल, नित्य रीती वावी चरणावर, तान्हे बालक सुमधुर हासे, भावत से बाहो सुरातुन। ओंकार गणपति, ओंकार गणपति, अधिपति सुखपति छंदपति गंगपति, अधिपति सुखपति छंदपति गंगपति सुरपति लीन निरंतर हो, लीन निरंतर हो, सूर निरागस हो, सूर निरागस हो, गणपति सूर निरागस हो। मोरया मोरया गणपति बाप्पा मोरया, मोरया मोरया गणपति बाप्पा मोरया। गजवदना तू सुख करता, गजवदना तू दुख हरता, गजवदना मोरया मोरया, मोरया मोरया गणपति बाप्पा मोरया, मोरया मोरया गणपति बाप्पा मोरया। गजवदना तू सुख करता, गजवदना तू दुख हरता, गजवदना मोरया मोरया, सूर निरागस हो, सूर निरागस हो। As I said tonight, it will be a merging of two traditions. And the divide of Omkar Bhagwan and Ganapati is not a natural thing. It is very much a man-made thing. And I will present to you different evidences from the Vedas to showcase that point and hopefully live up to the standards of the Vedas, up to the standards of unity as prescribed by those great rishis. But Ganapati is very much a social science, the idea of Ganapati, and I'll explain that in a bit. But as we all know, the Vedas have physical science as well. We always tell our children that the Vedas are a scientific text. We follow a scientific dharma. So I will present some of that evidence to you here today as well, and showcase the science of the Vedas, going all the way to the Big Bang Theory. So some of you all may have to brush up on your high school physics now. Today we're knocking off all the rust and using our scientific minds. So Big Bang Theory. There is a spontaneous event, and out of nothing comes creation. But what does the Vedas have to say about creation? We go to the Rig Veda, Mandal 10, Sukta 190, Mantra 1. Om Ritancha Satyancha Bhi Tapasodhya Jayata Tato Ratra Jayata Tatassamudro Arnavaha. We say in the beginning of time, first there were principles and atoms. Ritan means laws, physical laws, and then Satyam. But these atoms were the very, very basic core of creation, which are Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Those three qualities. This is what was produced. Then Tapasodhya Jayata. Then there was, we think tapasya is when we pray and have austerity. But tapaso in this context means chaos. You'll also notice in your own tapasya, the devtas will be testing you. And there will be chaos in your life as well. So it's not a very far definition from this same literal chaos in the universe. Tato ratraya jayata tatas samudro arnava. Then there was a very long night. Ratraya jayata. And then tatas samudro arnava. Samudra. Samudra is an ocean. Means an ocean. But we didn't get to creating the earth and Prithvi yet. This samudra means vapor. This is the nebulas, the primordial creation. The very, very basic elements were coming now after this long night to create stars and other beings. Now, as I said before, when science doesn't know something, we call it a spontaneous event. We just say, oh, well, this happens, or it happened. So children, when you're playing around in your house and you break some of mommy decoration and she asks you what happened, you can say that was a spontaneous event. You don't know what happened. But that's how we are. But in the Vedas, it is clearly saying that science doesn't know exactly what happened before this long, says Ratraya Jayata, before this long night. But in the Vedas it said principles and Sattva, Rajas and Tamas were there. Then after some time, what happens? Om Surya Chandramasau Dhata Yatha Purvamakalpayat Devam Ja Prithivim Chantarikshamato Swaha. Then Surya Chandramasau Dhata. Then the sun and the moon came into being. Yatha Purvamakalpayat Devam Cha Prithivim. Then day was formed. Then the earth was formed. Chantarikshamato Swaha. Now science is thinking about, we call it multiverse theory, not just Marvel multiverse. But this is saying that many universes, many big bangs have happened before. So this is not just the first creation. And this is definitely a Vedic thought, that this creation has happened over and over and over again. The lifespan of Brahma, the coming and going of this material world. So this Chantarik Shamato Swaha, it's saying as before, as this has happened many, many times before, the sun and the moon were created. Then the day was created. Then the earth was created. And now us in the Arya Samaj, we know these mantras very well. This is in our Sandhya. So the purpose of reciting these mantras is to destroy one's ego. Because when you think about creation and how vast this universe is, how can you ever think that, have any ego and think I'm greater than creation? So in the process of Sandhya, this is what we think about. to then go into our meditation, to then praise God. Another piece of science in the Vedas, Gayatri Mantra. First three words are, what are they? Bhur Bhuva Swaha. What are Bhur Bhuva and Swaha? Those are the three different forms of Agni. This is very interesting. In Havan we say, Om Bhuragnay Pranaya Swaha Idamagnay Pranaya Idan Namama. Why Bhur, Agnay and Pranaya? Bhur, the first word, is for oxidative fire. Oxidative fire means what? The fire that burns in the Havan, that Agni, is oxidative. We function by oxidation. We take in sugar, C6H12O6, and that turns into CO2. So that's how we get our energy, through the process of oxidation. That is one kind of fire. What is the second kind of fire? Om Bhuvar Vayave Panaya Swaha Idam Vayave Panaya Idan Namama. Om Bhuvar Vayave, Vayu. Now, what kind of fire travels through Vayu, travels through the air? Any ideas? Radiation. When you get an X-ray, that radiation has a certain amount of energy. Everyone knows what the Chernobyl disaster and all these atomic bombs that have radiation and kill many people. That is another type of fire that water cannot put out. You need different chemicals to put that out. And how did the rishis know of this fire? I do not know. Truly, I don't. But this is what they're saying. They are praying also to that. We are acknowledging that force of Agni as well, that radiation. And then, so this is now fusion. In physics, we call that fusion. And then, Om Sradityaya Vyanaya Swaha Idamadityaya Vyanaya Idan Namama. We move on now to fission. Swaradityaya. Aditya is what? Aditya, one definition is learned people. People who their light shines brightly. Their personalities are bright because they give knowledge. Aditya also means the stars. Those light-giving beings, literal light-giving beings, those are Aditya. They function on a different kind of fire. That is not oxidation or fusion. It is fission. The sun is burning hydrogen. One day, in a few 100,000 years, it'll start burning helium because of the chemical reaction. Now, again, I ask the question, how did the rishis know that the fire in the Agni that we do Havan with is a different kind of fire than the fire in the stars? If I were to guess, I would say, oh, it's just a big fire in the air. But this is their knowledge, their science, showing us that these are all of the sciences that are in this world, in this creation. Now, for our children here, I want you all to be very careful with something. There is distortion of our text, saying that the Vedas describe a great war between Adityas and Daityas, and that these light people, it doesn't describe them as stars, it says light people, fair-skinned people, fought these dark-skinned people, these Daityas. But that is not what Aditya and Daitya mean. That is not the war that the Vedas are describing. Daityas, so if stars give light, which cosmic body takes light? Any idea, any guess? The sun? The sun gives light. The sun is an Aditya. Black holes. This is now Einstein's theory just few decades ago. He's now discovering black holes. Black holes, the gravity is so much that they take in light. But the rishis describe this as a great war. That these light-giving beings are fighting with these dark beings. And this is what is described in the Vedas. So don't ever think that Sanatan Dharma, Vedic Dharma, propagates the idea of colorism. Oh, light skin is better than dark skin. Otherwise, me and Pandit Shekhar might be in trouble. But it is very important to know what our Dharma is and what the truth of it is, so that people won't fool our children into following something else. Once again, how did the rishis think of even black holes? What instrument did they use? This is what happens when you experience that connection with God, detachment, committing yourself to Dharma. This is, you then open your intellect and your mind to the knowledge of the universe. So now that I've proven kind of that the Vedas are scientific, with just a few examples, these are just a few. Now we move on to social science of Ganapati, why we are here this evening. What is the definition of Ganapati? This Ganapati is one of the words to describe Paramatma, Omkar Bhagwan, whichever name you like to call it. And this is found also in the Vedas. In Rig Veda, Mandal 2, Sukta 23, Mantra 1. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatim Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamasravastamam Jyeshtadhajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashvin Vannotidhissiddha Sadhanam. This mantra describes God as Ganapati. It says, among the Ganas, we are Ganas, a group of people, group of prayer. You are Ganapati. Pati means what? The caretaker of, the watcher of, the caregiver. It says, you are the wisdom of the wise and uppermost in glory. Jyeshta Rajyam. Rajyam means king. Jesht is older, eldest. You are the foremost king of prayers, presiding as the Lord of those prayers, as Brihaspatim. We're saying, please come to us by listening to our invocation. This is what we mean by Ganapati. So, for those who may not follow this tradition of Murti Puja, of Ganesh worship, but also follow Sanatan Dharma, Ganapati is not a bad word. We can, when we say, Bolo Ganapati Bhagavan Ki Jai, it's okay to say Jai, if that is not the philosophy you follow, because once again, it is in the Vedas. It is a name for God. Now, as I said, Jyeshta Rajyam. In the medieval period, and even before that, kings, leaders are also Ganapati. They take care of their Rajyam. They take care of their Praja, of their subjects. So this was also a title given. And you know, in like the Queen of England, the King of England, they have all these titles, King of England, Duchess of York, and Duke of York, something, I don't know. So, this is also evident in the Maratha Empire, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. For those of us who follow Sanatan Dharma, we should have great respect for Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and the Maratha Empire. I'll tell you why. Because in the medieval times, there was a lot of invasion happening. A lot of destruction to our Gurukulas and our Sanatan Dharma. It was almost wiped out. And it is said that through great yajna, great sacrifice, many saints and sages and the people did great tapasya to have a king, a leader, who would save them. And it is said that Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was born from that. Not a very different story than that of Sri Ram. And so Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj one of his titles was also Ganapati, and he had a son, Shambhaji Maharaj, who also fought greatly. It is said that no one could beat him. But it is only through deception and deceit and betrayal that he was captured. And even after he was captured, the enemy told him that if you convert, all this torture will be done. And when he was, put on display, they wanted to pull out his fingernails. And he would hold his fist like this. And no number of people could open his fist. But what did he do? To show his bravery, his viryam, he opened his hands and he said, go ahead. And one by one, pulling his nails. And then when they wanted to cut out his tongue, he stuck out his tongue and said, okay, go ahead. This was his devotion to Sanatan Dharma. And then when they wanted to take out his eyes, 2 metal rods, hot iron rods stuck in his eyes. He opened his eyes. And the soldier who was going to do it said, at least close your eyes. Even I'm getting scared. I don't want to. He said, if you're going to go ahead, do it. And why am I narrating this story? How many of us are this willing to commit to our Dharma? This is the strength of which our ancestors had to preserve this Dharma. And it should never be forgotten. That sacrifice should never be forgotten. But going back to Ganapati, so in the courts, in the Maratha courts, they would say Astikadam 3 times. Means attention. Astikadam, Astikadam, Astikadam. And they would call out the names, the titles. And the first was Ganapati. And they would say, Ganapati, Gaja Ashwapati, Bhupati, Prajapati, Suvarna Ratna Shripati, Rajaniti Dhurandhar, etc., etc. Long list. So, kings are also Ganapati. Our leaders are Ganapati. If we are a leader of a mandir, we are Ganapati. Even to some degrees, Pandits are also Ganapati. We lead the community. And all of us, in our own small way, is Ganapati. There is another mantra in the Atharva Ved. It says, Om Madhva Yajjam Nakshati Prenano Narasham Shamso Agnis Sukrideva Savita Vishva Araha. It says, a good person, respected among people, who does what is right, acts wisely, and carries strength with dignity, is valued by everyone. Through knowledge, such a person guides society forward and sets the path for others to follow. So you don't have to be an executive in a mandir. You don't have to be the mayor or some politician. Anyone, any good that we do, we are fulfilling that responsibility of Ganapati. Now, as I said, we all have responsibilities towards each other. We do not live in a vacuum. We live in a society. And we are all responsible for each other. Now we look at the murti of Ganeshji. He has the head of an elephant. Now my interpretation of the head of an elephant is that elephants are very social creatures. They take care of each other. It's very, very tight-knit, very complex societies that they have. And in one Ved mantra of the Rig Ved, I don't have it here, but it says all animals are brahmachari because they cannot deviate from their instincts. Only humans, we have a choice if to be brahmachari or not, if to follow our duty or not. But animals, they have no choice, and they just do. And it falls in line with dharma. So we need to look up to them sometimes because they never fail in their duties. And we also want to be like that. That's why we compare affection to that of cows. We compare strength and bravery to that of lions. It is everywhere in all of our scriptures, in all of the Vedas. And now we would say that Lord Shiva was the father of Ganesh. Now what does Shiva mean? The Sanskrit for Shiva. Shiva means benevolent. So we must have benevolence. Benevolence is the prerequisite to being a leader, to being Ganapati. That's how I interpret it as at least. That benevolence is a core, fundamental principle that we must have. Now, as I said, all of us are Ganapati. So, what is one evidence that says that our actions affect that of those around us? We may think we're insignificant, that we just, not too much in community, we do our prayers, yes, but how can I be Ganapati? Maybe some of us do not have family, do not have people who at work we are the supervisor of or something of that nature. But this episode from the Valmiki Ramayana Uttarkand, I think explains and demonstrates why each of us should hold our actions accountable. And now, I will ask you one thing before I narrate this story, is that, as I said, dharma and science should never be divorced. Dharma and principles should never be divorced. Dharma should be looked at in every single action, in every single way. In work, in school. It is I wish I could give this gift of looking at the world through the lens of Dharma to everyone. Because if you can, it really changes your life. You will see where there's a dharma and a dharma in your workplace, where there's dharma and a dharma in your family, in your mandir, even in yourself. That is the most important. When you can reflect and notice that this feeling I have, what I want to do is a dharma, and what I should do and what I don't want to do is dharma. And then what you want to do and dharma ends up being the same thing. So let me explain this scene. It is known as Shambhu Vatika. So when Sri Ram came back to Ayodhya and took up the post as Raja, it said that in Ram Rajya, nothing unnatural happened. Everyone followed Dharma. And because of that, everyone was happy. There were no changes in the seasons that were untimely. There was no naturally destructive events. Everyone was happy in their jobs, had food to eat. And when I say nothing unnatural happens, it is said that children did not die before their parents. So why is that important? Because that is an unnatural thing. And when we look in our world today, how much of that happens? So what happened was, a Brahmin came to the court of Sri Ram, and his son had passed away. And when he went to that court of Sri Ram, he said, Sri Ram, my son had passed away. This is not a natural thing to happen. This shouldn't happen. That means that someone is doing a dharma in your kingdom. Now it is your duty as the Raja to go and find that adharma and end it. Right? In Manusmriti, it says that a Raja who rightfully punishes a criminal, that criminal, they're absolved of that karma because it has been punished, the consequence has been given. But if a Raja does not do that, he also incurs the bad karma of that criminal and of that crime. So now imagine someone's son, daughter passes away, and you go to Donald Trump and you say, my son passed away, this isn't a natural thing, this is your responsibility now to fix. He would say you're crazy, right? Any of us, if someone came to us and we were in a position of leadership, we would think that that's crazy. But Sri Ram didn't think so. So he went walking around trying to think, what could be happening? Then he went to this forest and he saw a man hanging upside down from a tree. under a fire. And he asked him, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm doing tapasya." Tapasya for what? "I'm doing tapasya to conquer all three loks, all three worlds." Immediately, right then and there, Sri Ram takes out his sword and cuts off his head. Why did he do that? Because the tapasya of wanting to take over the three loks is an adharma itself. Who else wanted to take over the three loks in the Ramayana? Ravan. Having that ahankar, that ego, that wanting to control, doing a job that's not yours, that is only up to Paramatma, up to God. So, but what does this story tell each one of us? Is that whatever we do in our lives, it affects others. In the Constitution and whatnot, it says that there are victimless crimes. Sanatan Dharma does not believe in victimless crimes. Anything you do, any dharma you do, has a consequence. It is thermodynamics. If there is as I said before, we live in an open system where when we do action, maybe it may not come back directly to us at one-on-one, but it goes to someone else. It goes to the atmosphere. It goes to the devtas. They are disturbed, and then a balance must be struck again, so that adharma gets shifted somewhere else, so that there is now balance in this system. And by the way, right after Sri Ram did that, the Brahmin son woke up, showing that adharma was compensated for. And we have this idea that my life is my life, and what I do doesn't affect anybody. So let me eat what I want, drink what I want, do what I want, and it doesn't affect anyone. No. When there's a dharma, when you are killing animals for food, that is unnecessary. You create an imbalance. When you consume certain beverages that are not good for your own health, that is an adharma to yourself. Imbalance. When you are greedy and you take what is not yours, imbalance. And like I said, it may not seem like one-on-one. You may not have that consequence right away in this life, or even the next life, or even the next 5 lives. But someone somewhere is experiencing that pain. And we see it today. Children have cancer, all kinds of natural disasters. What are we doing? I know it may seem like a very supernatural kind of explanation, but this is what our dharma says, that when the devtas are happy, when we act in accordance with dharma, forgetting ego, everything is okay. Satyug. And this has been recorded many, many times. So we must look at every situation through the lens of dharma. That is how we must live our lives and bring clarity to our actions. Now, how do we live together in this society? How should we treat one another? Because we are Ganapati. We are responsible for each other as well. So we go to the very, very end of the Rig Veda. And now, I will sing these mantras. If anyone who knows me, I'm very much against singing mantras, because there's a certain meter and swar that is associated with every mantra. But I think in this way, in this tone and tune, it really captures the essence of what these mantras are trying to say. And so you'll understand as I explain, as we go through the Sangathan Sukta. Sangachadvamsam vadadvamsam vomana sijanata Samgachadvamsam vadadvamsam vo mana se janata deva bhagam yatha purve samjanana upasate samgachadvamsam vadadvamsam vo mana se janata. Here God speaks to us directly. And he says, O devotees, move towards one common goal. Sangachadvam. Go. Go and move as a sangathan. It says, speak pleasantly with each other. Samvadadvam. And let your minds be of one accord to acquire knowledge of various sciences. And this is what is most interesting. Deva bhagam yathapute. He pronounces that the rishis, our ancestors before, those devas, just as they did before, you also do the same and move towards a common goal. It's almost as if Paramatma knew that we would be divided. And he's saying, look back. Look at how your ancestors did before. Before there was any division and sect in Sanatan Dharma, there was one Vedic Dharma. One unity, one oneness. Ekam Sadvipra Bahuda Vadanti. And now, tonight, I think we have achieved this mantra. Just by being here, Samgachatvam, we have congregated with one common goal of hearing Katha, hearing the words of the Vedas and the lessons of the Vedas. So please give yourselves a round of applause. And for us who again may not believe in Murti worship, in this I would say in this method of worship, in this philosophy, in the Ved it says Bhavatanna samanasau sachetasau varepasau ma yajjam himsishtham. Do not ma yajjam himsishtham. Do not do anything that will destroy yajja. And what is happening here today and in these 11-12 days is most definitely a yajja. It meets that criteria of Dev Puja, honoring the forces of nature, Sangatikaram, bringing people together, and Dan, how much people are giving. I don't even want to think about how much all of this costs. But what is here is most definitely a yajna. So whatever differences in philosophy there are or not, as long as you believe in Vedic Dharma, this is the place to be. The Bhagavan continues and says, Samano mantra samiti samani samano mantra samiti samani samanam manasah chetamesham samanam mantra mabhimantrayeva samanam mantra mabhimantrayeva samane navo havi shajuhomi he samgachadvamsam vadadvamsam vo mana se jana. samitihi samani. He says, O devotees, let your thoughts, mantra, samano mantra, mantra here means your thoughts. Let your thoughts be alike, and the place of your assembly be common, as it is today. Your minds should be of one accord, and let your hearts be united. I initiate you in the common inspired hymn, and provide all of you with common objects for acceptance and offering. As I said, we have many differing philosophies, but there is commonality between them. When we say, Om Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadev, Har Har Mahadev. The Atharva Ved says, So Aryama Sa Varuna Sa Rudra Sa Mahadev. It says, God, you are Aryama, you are Varuna, you are Rudra, you are Mahadev. So no matter what philosophy you follow, you can say Har Har Mahadev. You are calling the name of God. We are saying the name of Ganapati, as I have mentioned many times, is in the Vyaas. So let our thoughts, let that be common. Let our prayer be common. Even if we don't agree with some of the philosophy, we still support, because it is all Sanatan Dharma. And there is a connection, somewhere or the other, between all of our philosophies. And finally, so we're seeing here step by step what God is saying in the Sangatana Sutta. He says, first, let your place of congregation be common. Do, physically, karma. Do work with a common goal. Do work together. Now he's saying, let your minds be of one accord. Think the same. Be united in thought and in direction. And finally, Bhagavan says, Samvadadvansam Vomana Sijanata Samgachadvansam Vadadvansam Vomana Sijanata Pamagarega Sanidapama Pamagarega Sanidapama Gare Nipa Pamagare Sani Sagama Samani Vakuti Samana Hridayani Samani Vakuti Samana Hridayani Vaha Samanamastu Mano Yatha Vaha Susahasati Samgachadvam Samvadadvam Samvomana Sijanata Janata Samani va akutihi samana hridayani va. It says, O devotees, let your objects of your life be the same. Hridaya, let your hearts and minds be united. Now, Bhagavan is talking about love for each other. Step by step we go. First, if we've never been to Ganesh Utsav, first we show up, Samgachadvam. Then we get to talk to everyone here, Pandit Krishna, Pandit Dylan, Pandit Shekhar, other people, we get to know them. Samano mantra. And then when we get an idea of who they are, and we stay around, and we realize our goals are the same, we worship the same, then samana hridayaniva. Then our hearts are united. We have love for one another. When we hear that one is not doing so well, we get concerned. We want to help. When we hear that they are experiencing happiness, we are happy too. Step by step this goes. So like I said before, and as Bhagwan said, it says, and this will lead to Samanamastu vo mano yathavah susahasati. This will lead to an excellent status for everyone. And that is the end of the Rig Veda. That is how the Rig Veda ends. So, as we gather here, as we make this step as a community in unity, we will sing this Sangathan Sukta one more time in its entirety. And all of us together, if we know the words, please sing along, please chant along. And remember this idea of cooperation, being in this Sangathan as Ganapati. This is our responsibility. This is what the Vedas say. So we will recite again as one Sangathan. Samgachadvamsam vadadvamsam vomanan sijanata. Samgachadvamsam vadadvamsam vomanan sijanata. Deva bhagam yatha purve samjanana upasate. Samgachadvamsam vadadvamsam vomanan sijanata. Samano mantrah samitehi samani. Samano mantrah samitehi samani. Samanam manasah chittamesham. Samanam mantra mabhimantrayeva. Samanam mantra mabhimantrayeva. Samanena vo havi shajuhomi. Isam gachadvamsam vadadvamsam vomanan sijanata. Samgachadvamsam vadadvamsam vomanan sijanata. Pamagarega sanida pama. Pamagarega sanida pama. Gare ni pa pamagare sani sagama samani vakuti samana hridayani va samani vakuti samana hridayani va samanamastu vo mano yatha vah susahasati. Samgachadvamsam vadadvamsam vomanan से जानता देवा भागम यथा पूर्वे समजानना उपासते संगच्छध्वंसं वदध्वंसं वो मना से जानता जानता जानता. So as I conclude tonight, let us all remember our responsibility as Ganapati. Yes, Bhagwan is at utmost Ganapati, but we also have our responsibilities to each one of ourselves, to our families, to our institutions, to our communities, and to one another, our friends. And in doing so, we will fulfill that command of Samgachatvam Samvadadvam. So, as we move forward with the rest of Ganesh Chaturthi, I look forward to seeing all of us and the diversity to come of different philosophies and us enjoying together in Prajna, in Vedic Dharma. Thank you. And before I end, I want to share thanks first and foremost to Pandit Shekhar Prasad ji. Please give him a round of applause. This Ganesh Chaturthi is very, very near and dear to my heart because today marks 1 year since I've known Pandit Shekhar ji. But it doesn't feel like 1 year. It feels like I've known him and the members of Sri Durga Devasthanam for such a long time, my whole life. He welcomed me with open arms and explains to me whatever I may not know from my tradition and explains with his tradition, and we exchange ideas and thoughts throughout the year. And I want to thank him so much for giving me this opportunity. And more than that, he's like a big brother to me. You know, in my down moments, he gives me the support and the love and guidance that I need. And he also buffs me up sometime when I needed to. And I want to thank him for all of his support and love and this opportunity today to share the message of the Vedas with you all. I want to thank the Pandits of our spiritual center who have guided me and taught me my whole life, as well as the executives of our spiritual center who have supported me, by Naro Bali in the back, our president, by Sohan Singh, our vice president who's not here, Auntie Devika. A big shout out and thanks to all of them. I want to thank some of my gurus, Janvi Bharga and Siddharth Bharga, who have taught me philosophy and mantras. Bhai Arush Kota, who has helped me with some of the mantras here today. Srimati Ami Ganatra, who has taught me Valmiki Ramayana. Of course, my mother, who is sitting here today. Thank you so much for all you've given me. And to each and every one of you, no matter which philosophy, which sampradaya you may follow, who have gathered here today, thank you all so much for your support and for your patient listening tonight. Thank you. Namaste. And Bole Ganapati Bhagwan Ki. Thank you.
Please give another round of applause to our Honorable Vyaas ji. Vyaas ji has eloquently delivered a powerful discourse that uplifts us as spiritual beings in connection with the divine. He beautifully expounded on the principle of living with Dharma, aligning our actions with truth, duty, and inner integrity. Mahaganapati, the remover of obstacles and the embodiment of wisdom, guides us along this very path. His divine presence calls us to act with clarity, humility, and purpose. By invoking Sri Ganapati, we seek not just worldly success, but the strength to walk the righteous path, honoring ourselves through every word, thought, and action. Let us strive to embody Panditji's message and transform his katha into our reality, for only then can our lives be truly fruitful. Panditji, on behalf of Sri Durga Devasthanam, we extend our deepest gratitude to you for gracing the third session of Sri Ganesh Chaturthi Utsavam. We thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here each day and glorify Sri Ganesh in such a profound manner. May you always be blessed by our beloved Sri Ganapati to continue spreading the glories of God, irrespective of aspect or form, throughout the entire diaspora. We also sincerely thank the Arya Spiritual Center for their ongoing support and efforts toward the success of Sri Ganesh Chaturthi. Please give them a round of applause. And once more, please give Vyaas ji another round of applause. Devotees, at this time, I kindly ask of you all to please stand for Maha Arti. Following Arti, we will hear a few words from some of our respected community leaders. If you have prasadam, please come forward as well.
स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु
की जय, सिद्धि विनायक भगवान की जय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव शंभो। विघ्नेश्वर गणनाथ गजानन, पार्वती नंदन शुभागना। विघ्नेश्वर गणनाथ गजानन, पार्वती नंदन शुभागना। पार्वती नंदन शुभाया गणनाया, जय गणनाया श्री गणनाया, जय गणनाया श्री गणनाया, जय गणनाया श्री गणनाया, जय गणनाया श्री गणनाया। अष्टविनायक सिद्धि विनायक सिद्धि विनायक शुक्लांबरधरं गणपति मंदं, शुक्लांबरधरं नित्यं 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 Adorations and love to thy lotus feet of Bhagavan Ganapati. The Lord who is glorified is Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya, who is the master of the universe, the creator, the sustainer, and the evil destroyer. Let us all pray and ask Bhagavan Ganesh for his grace and blessings. Oh. Shall we all chant Om? Together, everyone. Repeat after me. Om Ekadantaya Vidmahi Vakradundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dhanti Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Mrityurma Om Shanti Loka Samasta Loka Samasta Loka Samasta Paramam Pavitram Prabhuji Daya Karo Man mein Aan baso Prabhuji Daya Karo Man mein Tantra mantra puja nahi janu. Tantra mantra puja nahi janu. Main to keval
मम तस्मत्कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष महेश्वर सुरेश्वर जगदीश्वर ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। जय बोलो गणपति भगवान की जय। मंगल मूर्ति गणपति बाबा हर नमः पार्वती वदये हर हर महादेव शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो।
Jai Sitaram devotees, please just give us a few moments of your time more. I would just like to call on Bhaiji Devendra from the Arya Spiritual Center to please come forward.
संवरध्वं समो मनांसि जानतां देवा भागं न उपासते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Guruji, Pandit Shekhar Ji, Vyaas Ji Maharaj, devotees all, my humble namaste or Sitaram. It is wonderful to be here once again with all of you to experience this flow of divine energy in such a devotionally charged atmosphere. Tonight I'm joined by quite a few of our devotees from the Arya Spiritual Center, including our President, Sri Sohan Singh Ji, and our Vice President, Sri Naro Bali Ji. We extend our support to Pandit Shekhar Ji and the wonderful sevaks of Sri Durga Devasthanam in our shared vision, as Pandit Ji mentioned, of Samgachadhvam, a vision of a united community, a community moving forward together for the cause of Dharma. When this now sacred ground was acquired by our Dharmacharya, the late Pandit Ramlalji Atmako Sadgati Praptaho Mirat Atma Tain Moksha, the gates of this ground were not only open to the Arya Samaj, but every school of thought within Sanatana Dharma in our community with Samvadadham in mind, a harmonious coexistence, because our Dharmacharya and other leaders of vision recognize that strength lies in our diversity. They had a hope of Sambho Manansi Janatam, a hope that irrespective of our philosophical perspective, as Panditji mentioned, and our varying approaches and interpretations, that our minds, our goals, and our vision for our community will be aligned for the protection, for the propagation, and for the preservation of our Dharma. Tonight, our diversity, as Pandit Dhilanji emphasized at the commencement of this Utsav, this evening's session, what more says unity in diversity than bringing our philosophies and by having an Arya Samaji Pandit present at this divine event. And that deserves a round of applause. Tonight, my Anuja Ji, my younger brother, Pandit Niraj Ji, presented an informative, well-researched and insightful message. Pandit Niraj Ji, we couldn't be more proud of you and the path you are forging for yourself and the generations to follow. I offer gratitude to our Guruji, Pandit Shekhar Ji, for affording Pandit Niraj Ji this wonderful opportunity tonight in the vision of Samgachadhvam. May we continue to work towards the vision of Samvadadhvam with hope of Sambho Manamsi Janatam. With these few words, I offer congratulations, best wishes, and Bhagavan Ganapati's richest Ashirwad for a prosperous and successful Utsav on behalf of the Chairman, the President, and all the devotees of the Arya Spiritual Center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.
Thank you, Bridgie, for those beautiful words. Now I'd like to call on Pitaji Naraji from the RS Spiritual Center to please come forward and share his brief remarks. Please welcome Pitaji Naraji.
Namaste. Thank you, Vani ji. I want to thank Pandit Niraj ji for taking this step of the Arya Spiritual Center. To, Pandit Shekhar and me go back 8 years ago when he came to me to do the Ganesh Utsav. It's a lot of groundwork. He starts slow and he works his way up. And then when he went away to India, he left behind Roshini to continue all the paperwork and all the necessary things. Today, I want to thank Pandit Shekhar ji, who gave us the opportunity to have one of the Arya Spiritual Center Pandit to present at the Ganesh Utsav. By Devendra mentioned, our late Dharmacharya, Panaramji, he had a vision. He said, whenever there's a Hindu community want to do anything at this front, he put a smile on the whole community to enrich what this culture, to uplift. There's a whole community, as I said, it's a wonderful experience when you come to the Arya Spiritual Underground. This is to spread the knowledge and the Vedas and the Puranas, to enrich each and every one of you here. I say namaste, and you do enjoy everything that goes on here, and it continues tomorrow. You got a whole week and a half to uplift yourself. Namaste.
Thank you, Pitaji Naro, for all of your support to Sri Durgati Vastanam. Please give him another round of applause. Lastly, at this time, we have Pandit Chaturthi here with us, and now invite him to please come forward and share his brief message to us all. Please welcome Panditji.
Dhanyavad, my honorable Vaniji, my daughter. Great, brilliant Vyaas, Namaskar. Anyone has a stopwatch there? I'll take less than 30 seconds. Bow your heads in prayers, please. We bless Pandit Shekharji and all of you wonderful Pandits, all great devotees and ambassadors of his Dharma. May we prosper and grow together. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Now everybody say after me. Although my heart is at my left, I'll put it right. Once more say after me. I'm a Jiva. I want to be like Shiva. Thank you very much. Sanatan Dharma ki. Bhaniji, I think that's 30 seconds, right?
Thank you, Panditji, for those beautiful words. Now I'd like to call on Guruji Shekharji to please come forward as he will do the vote of thanks for tonight's session. Please welcome Guruji Shekharji.
Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om Mangalamurti Ganapati Bappa Shri Ganesh Bhagavan Ki Jai. Honorable Shri Acharya Ji Niraj, please give him a round of applause. Panditji Chandradat Prasad, Panditji Dilan, Panditji Dubey, members from the Milan Temple, Trimurti Mandir, Bhuvaneshwar Mandir, please give them all a round of applause for being here with us tonight to join the third night Sri Ganesh Chaturthi Mahotsav. Lord Vyaas ji, you did excellent. The echo, the vibration, the mantras was all well recited for the upliftment. It was well delivered for the upliftment of humanity. And in your divine pravachan, you mentioned about Dev Yajna. Here at the Aryan Spiritual Center, this is what we're performing, the 5 daily duty. In the morning, we're having Brahma Yajna, 5 a.m. meditation, Havan Yajna. At 9 a.m. we're having Deva Yajna, we're performing the puja for the Devas. And then we have Atiti Yajna, which we honor our guests as God. And we provide for them 3 meals every day. Clap for the Kudaka Devas family. Also, we perform the Buddha Yajna, take care of all the plants and all the animals, and here we have some fresh organic plants here. So here at the Aryan Spiritual Center, I can tell you that the 5 daily duty are being practicing here every day. So I encourage all of you not only to come, but if you can come and be a part of this yajna, to do some Charan Seva, to do some selfless service, to engage in the activity, it will enhance your divinity more. Because here we have no dividement. Panditji is the Arya Samaj, and I am Shekhar. But what we create here tonight is an eternal bond of bringing our community together. Please give the Aryan Spiritual Center a huge round of applause. This was a vision 15 years ago when I thought to myself that it's time to bring different nationality together and to have them here to read night after night. Well, he's American. We had another American last night, Senator Prasad, who is a Guyanese. And then we have some Trinidadian priests who are going to be here, and also one from Suriname. This was the vision, to create this Sangha, a divine group of people to have themselves engaged only in divinity. Please take the opportunity and come and experience this great energy that is radiating here morning, noon, and evening. With that said, I want to encourage all of you, do come and join with us. Pandit Niraj is here 5 a.m. in the morning, leading with the Havan Yajna. Give it an opportunity and come and experience this blissful moment of spirituality to help to recharge you and help you to fulfill the purpose of life and also to practice your daily duty. That is a spiritual exercise is taking place here on the battlefield of Dharma. Also, I want to say special thank you to Mataji Seema, Mataji Kumari, and there are a few more Mataji who beautifully came this morning, well decorated. They were so vibrant, and I don't know how they have so much of energy. Anyhow, they're the one who create that beautiful ladhu, that place on Ganapati. They take their own hands and they made it from zero. Scratch for them, but clap for them every time. And that really made me very happy this morning to see that, they come to express their devotion as an example for all of you. Also, Panditji Niraj mom made breakfast for us this morning. Clap for her also. But that was how we work here, bartering system. We exchange love for love. And this is how we can serve humanity with simplicity. And to every one of you who would have contributed and donate to this great Utsav, may Ganesh Bhagavan bless all of you. Join with us tomorrow. Swamiji from the Bharat Seva Sangha Ashram will be here to lead us in his divine spiritual discourse. At 6:30 p.m. he will be here to perform a Havan Yajna, and I think at 7:30 p.m. he will be delivering his divine message. So divine invitation to all of you please do come and support us. And finally, I would like to say thank you again to the Aryan Spiritual Center for giving us the opportunity to make our imagination become a reality, because nowhere here in New York you could ever go and perform this kind of religious activity with their selfless love, with their selfless cooperation and humility, and create a bridge. It would have break that wall of dividement, and we come together and we build a bridge to serve humanity. Clap again for the Aryan Spirituals. If any one of you desire to bring any sort of ingredients for the Abhishekam in the morning, you can do so. Don't feel shy. You're a devotee. Don't be scared to make a contribution or to offer anything to Lord Ganesha. This is the Utsav that brings us all together. And if any one of you would like to sit for the Havan or any of the puja, come and speak to me, or Pandit Krishna will be able to lead you through, or Pandit Ji Niraj will be able to lead you through and direct you about the rules and the regulation of the yajna. You just can't just come and sit. You have to prepare a few days before and have the mind and the body ready for that energy. And while we are performing the arti, if you want to come at the back here and help us to make the preparation, you can do so also. If you want to help do some dishes, Mataji Kumari, I can't see her. Oh, she looks so beautiful tonight. Mataji Kumari left here till about, I can't remember the exact time, but she was doing the tali, the lota at the back there. She was washing them, and make sure the utensil were clean for this morning. Clap again for her. And why I say that? I want to see more Mataji go and support her and lend your hand. Because you see these hands that serve are holier. And let's just pray. So that's the motto of life. You have to come, you have to interact, you have to be a part, you have to be in the feel. And when you feel that energy, you build that bond with God. God, He don't want anything from us. What He receives from us is our love and our intention. Thank you. And may God bless all of you. Enjoy the puja. And to Behenji Natasha, where is she? She's here? No? Okay. She's here? Okay. We want to say thank you to Behenji Natasha for sponsoring the entire puja for this evening, and the Bandara and the Havan Yajna. May God bless her, and may God bless all of you.